Hello everyone. In today's video we're going to be discussing a little bit about the background story of the division. Back at E3, Ubisoft handed out a newspaper clipping dated Friday 4th of December 2015, which is roughly about a week after the outbreak of the virus. In the newspaper it discusses the release of the virus, where a leaked memo maybe suggests possible government involvement in the spread of the virus. One of the interviews is with Warren Merchant. Now, Warren Merchant is a fictitious author in the world of the division. He is the author of the book titled New York Collapse, a survival guide to urban catastrophe. Merchant is quoted as saying that a coordinated attack would explain how the virus had managed to spread so quickly, reinforcing the fact that the virus may have been a deliberate act of terrorism with the possibility of government involvement in the distribution of the virus. Later, the article discusses the anecdote of a woman by the name of April Keller. April is a resident from Park Slope, Brooklyn, but one who is unfortunate enough to be caught up in the quarantine. Now, we'll come up to April a little bit later. Fast forward a bit of time and the division's official Facebook page challenges with a puzzle, a page from the book by Warren Merchant with some annotations from the previous owner. Analysing the page, we've got a clue every second counts, which helps us to solve the riddle. Now, if you look at every second letter of every word, you can solve the riddle, which spells out move off Manhattan Island now. This itself is quite interesting and suggests that the author, Warren Merchant, must have had some kind of prior knowledge of an imminent attack due to happen on New York, but how could he have possibly have known? We've also got some dates and tally marks at the bottom, which suggest that the owner of the previous book must have survived at least until New Year's Eve. Moving on, we've managed to crack the puzzle, move off Manhattan Island, and we've got a new link to visit. The link brings us to a couple more pages from the book with more annotations. We can see that the previous owner had kept this book not only as a survival guide but as a personal journal as well, and we can read a few of her personal experiences. A few days later, it's announced that a survival guide will be published and available for us to purchase. We also got handed a high definition image of an agent studying a poster. The poster? Well, that's the book by Warren Merchant. This to me really suggests that there may be some kind of intertwining Easter egg or secret quest for us to follow in the game itself to help us unravel the mystery maybe behind the origin of the virus. Now, if we go on Amazon, we can see that the book is designed to act as an interactive companion guide and to be released coinciding the release of the game itself. We're teased with a few more pages from the book. We've got the front cover and the back cover. Now, on the back cover we've got an annotation, and we can see that the previous owner of the book was none other than April Keller, the same girl from the newspaper clipping. Now, we're given further insight into the story as well. One of the really interesting entries in the book is where April goes to visit her husband Bill, who works in New York. Bill Keller works at a biolab. However, upon April's arrival, she witnesses Bill being assassinated right outside his workplace. Now, who were these men that assassinated Bill? Were they government officials? And why was Bill assassinated in the first place? Had he known something about the virus? Was he working on a cure? We also discover someone labelled as the doctor who was present when Bill was murdered. Who exactly was the doctor and what does he know? We're also shown a few other things that's included in the survival guide. Included with the book you get a map, a travel card, a notice of vaccination, a wanted poster, a drawing of Bill, and a post-it note. Now, the post-it note may be quite vague, but you are somewhat able to decipher it, and the post-it note reads, "As best as I can, only find this secret message after you've something. I'm probably okay for me. The map and the transit card secret for you. A code word for the doctor. The card shows a final surprise. The location is look for the page where I write an entry." Now, that's my best attempt at deciphering this vague image, which probably suggests may have been a message from either April or maybe Bill. The truth is, all of this really leads us to more questions rather than give us answers. However, I doubt we're going to find out much more anytime soon. I think we're going to probably more than likely have to wait until the release of the game and the book until we can actually unravel this mystery. And hopefully it'll lead us to some answers as to who the doctor was and whether the government was somehow involved in the virus, and maybe what happened to April and Bill, and maybe to answer why Bill was killed and who killed Bill, and maybe to find out who Warren Merchant was and how he knew about the attack, and why he tried to warn everybody to try and get off Manhattan Island. Now, I think this is going to be really interesting once the game is released, and I know I'll be looking to purchase the book and try and follow the quest and hopefully answer some of these questions. That's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching.